What's up everyone, Dublade here. In today's video, I am going to show you guys how you can clutchless upshift like a pro. Let's go. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. So clutchless upshifting is actually pretty easy to do. What it is what's written in the title. You upshift without using the clutch. What's great about clutchless upshifting is that basically you can smash up through the gears quicker than you usually would, which is awesome. If you're absolutely spanking it, you're going ham, you're going for it, you're cruising. You see that guy in the BMW who's giving you the eye, telling you that you're a you want to outshift him and you want to get going quicker. Shifting with the clutch takes a little bit more time. Clutchless upshifting, you can go choo 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 all the way through. Allows you to shift quicker as well if you don't have a quick shifter, which not all of us have. My bike doesn't have a quick shifter at all. There goes a sight from my soul.
You can do clutch downshifting, but like it's very difficult to get right, and that's where you mess up your gearbox. So clutchless upshifting doesn't actually damage your gearbox at all. It's pretty easy to do. Like when I sort of discovered it, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is a life-changing fucking situation. I'm going to show you guys right here what I mean about clutchless upshifting. So I'm like in second at the moment. Go back onto the freeway, spank it a little bit. I'll show you again. I'm in third gear right now. Not going to touch the clutch at all. Okay? Okay, so you're on it, you're on the gas, you're going. You need to upshift. Instead of taking all that time to then pull in the clutch and upshift with your foot, what you're going to do is rotate the throttle ever so slightly to the point where you can feel the engine has just shut off the throttle. So it's on the gas right now. There it's not. On the gas right now. There it's not. On the gas right now. There it's not. It's just a little closure. As soon as you close that throttle just a teeny bit, you have to put pressure on the shift lever on your left foot, and it will just click into gear. It's really cool. If you're not turning off the throttle at the right point, you're going to be like overly forcing the shifter because it's not going to go. It should just click into place. Like if you need to put in like an over amount of force, it's not correct.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, filter. That's an Aston Martin. Ooh, very nice. Clutchless upshifting is a really like cool skill to learn. So if you do it right, you're able to accelerate a lot faster and a lot more smoothly without causing any damage to the bike. The differences between clutchless upshifting and using a quick shifter is that with a quick shifter, you don't have to roll off the throttle. Well, I just lost my rear wheel there a little bit. Tyres aren't quite warmed up just yet. Got a little bit squiggly. What's great about these 2CT tyres that I'm running at the moment is that you know when it's going to happen. You can just sort of feel it when the rear tyre's just going to go a little bit squiggly on you, so you can like prepare yourself for it. So when done right, it looks a little something like this. Again, I'm going to show you. Accelerate, power off, shift up. I don't know if you guys saw that, but because the acceleration was quite a lot higher than using the clutch, my front end got a little bit wobbly. It didn't come off the ground, but it got lighter to the point where I got a little jiggle, a little bit of a jiggle. It just shows that you can accelerate a lot harder using clutchless upshifting as a technique. So again, the way you do it is you accelerate, you get ready to shift by putting a little bit of pressure on the gear shift pedal, and then you very gently roll off throttle. It won't even feel like you've properly rolled off. You'll feel the engine cut. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a cut in the engine and the transmission. You can do it going down, but I really don't recommend it, and it involves a lot more skill. Since I don't recommend doing that, I'm not going to show you how to do it because I don't want people coming over to me and be like, oh, Dublade, you've broken my gearbox showing me a stupid technique. My preferred way of downshifting is to do throttle blipping and rev matching so that you negate issues of engine braking. Now, throttle rev matching is when you're banging down the gears. So if you just didn't throttle match and you shifted down, notice how the rev counter goes up and you get a jerkiness as you're being slowed by the gearing system in the engine. It requires a little bit of a mechanical practice, but you're going to shift down, and just before, as you shift down, you're going to rev the bike. Not substantially, but you're going to give it a little twizzle. So here we go. shift down, rev at the same time, and it completely negates any issues of engine braking. So the process is clutch, rev, down. Checking out my bike, bruh. I would too, don't worry. It's quite a pretty blue colour. Candy ocean blue is what they call this colour. I don't think Kawasaki make it too often anymore, unfortunately. It is a nice colour. I wasn't too enthused about it when I first got the bike, but it's kind of grown on me. Swear to God, he's drinking cough syrup. Not kidding. Need to give her a little bit of a clean. I hate the fucking seeing this like road muck starting to build up. I'm so anal about it. So, clutchless upshifting, just to give you another rundown before we turn off here. Don't touch the clutch. You're putting on the gas, putting on the gas, putting on the gas. You want to roll off just a little bit not to disengage the engine and shift up. So put pressure on the shifter, roll off just a little bit and shift up. Put the pressure on the shifter to begin with. Just roll off the throttle a little bit and shift up and you'll get the hang of it. Go on, lads. Here we go. Woo! So when it's done badly, like I just did there in the first 2 sets of gears, it is quite jerky, so watch out for that. But if you do it well, it's really smooth just like that. I just went up another 2 gears. It's all practice, everything is practice. But you'll get the hang of it, and then it's easy as pie. It's almost as easy as McDonald's giving you a burger that doesn't look anything like the advertised image of the burger. Oh, it's some pristine burger, look at it. It's well structured, has structural integrity. You know, all the lettuce is perfect. It's a great size bit of meat pate. You know, perfect, everything's happy, everyone's smiling, there's rainbows. You know, the world is good, the world's at peace, everything's fantastic. Then you get to the opener, it's like, oh, that's soggy, isn't it? That's a soggy burger. It's a bit lopsided. It looks like there's something not quite right in its little head there. That lopsided moist burger. Or should I say damp, substantial wetness. Since we're talking about riding tips and trying to be fucking productive today, I have to say, like, anyone who doesn't ride with the balls of their feet on the peg, you guys are asking for trouble, man. Like, I no joke, the amount of people I see who ride around on their motorcycles with their fucking heels on their pegs, with their toes, you know, centimeters from the ground. Like, you're asking for trouble there, guys. All it takes is for you to take a corner a little bit sharper, and then your whole foot is gonna go, and you're gonna have a very nasty crash. So please, guys, do us all a favor, ride with the balls of your feet on the peg. Don't be lazy. It also allows you a little bit more of control with your thighs and your knees, so it all works in itself to be a very sexy riding, controlling experience.